Hey guys, look what I have here. This is the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT. I have it here at home and I had a lot of time to try it, play everything and so on, so I can show you a full review. I will tell you everything about the display, the comfort, lenses, sound, etc. You can find the timestamps in the description below and also the link to buy the headset in the first pinned comment and in the description. My name is Thomas and you're watching VoodooDE VR. Thank you to my sponsors Woodghost VR, Opperman Events, Virtual Escape Area 1 and Virtual Reality Center Basel. Let's have some fun with the review and let's go!
VoodooDE.
So guys, perhaps you're wondering where's the unboxing? So there will be no unboxing this time because the PIMAX team visited my studio and they just brought it in a, I would say in a plastic bag. So I don't have the package, but this is the old PIMAX Crystal, this is the Crystal Light. So I think it will be the same package, but only without the battery that's here, yeah? Yeah, there's no unboxing. So if you want to see the unboxing of the PIMAX Crystal, you can see my old video. Let's talk about the design. As you can see from the front, you will not see any difference. Yeah. So I think you will not even see which one is the Crystal Light. So this one is the Crystal Light and this one is the Crystal. You can see it here. Here's the battery. Yeah, and here not. Here's no battery. Yeah, and you can definitely even feel it, but we will talk about the comfort and weight later. There is really not much difference in the design, in the optical experience. Yeah, the only thing is that we now have IPD slider here because it's not automatically IPD like with the PIMAX Crystal, but everything else is the same. So if you ask me about the design, it looks very big. Yeah, when you compare it to other smaller headsets like the Pico 4 or even Quest 2 or a very good example, the Big Screen Beyond, it's very big. It's very big. So one could think that it's not comfortable, it's too bulky and so on. But I think it's still fine. For me, it looks pretty good here with a nice design here with a V in front, and also I love that it's not shiny surface, so you don't see the fingerprints too much. Yeah, also the design of the head strap is pretty good. Yeah, but yeah, we can argue about the design. I love it. I also love the old PIMAX headsets here, but yeah, this is the design, and for me it's cool. Let's talk about comfort and weight. So when I first had the PIMAX Crystal in my hand, I thought, wow, this is definitely much lighter because I think 2 hours before I used the PIMAX Crystal, the old one, and it's much heavier. You definitely notice that because in the new Crystal Light, they reduced some stuff in the front, yeah, the auto IPD, and everything is a little bit lighter, and also of course the missing battery. So the old PIMAX Crystal was 1,157 grams. I measured that with my own scale. Yeah, I only trust my own scale. 1,157 grams. So the PIMAX Crystal Light was 925 grams. So this is a lot lighter. Yeah, when you calculate it, it's exactly 232 grams less. I think that's a different value than PIMAX says, but as I say, I only trust my own scale and so on. So, but it's really a nice advantage. Yeah, it's much lighter and you definitely feel it. So when I now put it on my head, with the wheel here, like this, top strap as well, a little bit tighter. Yeah, then you have to use the IPD manually now, and yeah, it's really comfortable. It's much more comfortable than the old PIMAX Crystal, and when you move your head pretty fast, it's still okay. I mean, when you move it very fast, yeah, then of course it shakes on your head, but when will you do that? Normally you don't move your head very fast. This is normally the maximum that you use, that you spin your head like this, and then it's absolutely fine. So I played longer sessions with the PIMAX Crystal Light, And for me personally, it's absolutely no problem. Yeah, I can imagine to play like 4 hours flight simulator or racing simulator with that. Yeah, but of course it's very individual. Perhaps some other people say, oh no, this is too heavy or so. For me, it's not. It's much lighter than the old one. It's still heavier than some other headsets like the Pico or so, of course, but I mean, it has a lot of advantages still, yeah? So yeah, for the comfort, it's absolutely fine for me now. Let's talk about software and setup. So you know that with the old PIMAX headsets, even with the old PIMAX Crystal and all the PIMAX headsets, I had a lot of problems. The software was not stable, I had a lot of errors. Sometimes I needed like 15 to 20 minutes to get rid of some strange errors, USB disconnect and whatever. Now with the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT, I mean the PIMAX team was here, they connected it, but after that I made it for myself. I wanted to try it for myself, yeah. And then I installed the PiPlay software. It's still the same software. Install the software, and then connect DisplayPort, connect USB, connect power, and then everything was fine. It was recognized instantly every time I tried that. That's the first time I didn't have problems. The only thing is I knew that you cannot connect 3 monitors at the same time together with the PIMAX Crystal. So I have 2 monitors and 1 TV. So I had to disconnect the TV, otherwise the Crystal or any other PIMAX headset is not recognized. But I knew that before, so that was not a problem. Yeah, just and then after that you do the room setup. It's the same like with Quest or Pico or so. Just paint your room with a laser pointer, mark your area, calibrate the floor, and then you're good to go with the included controllers. Yeah, then you can start SteamVR and everything works. That's awesome. You can also, inside the software, you can set up a lot of detailed stuff like hertz. You can switch local dimming in 3 different modes, and you can switch the colors, switch the brightness, and thousands of different stuff, super sampling and all things that you need, yeah, for your experience. But the thing is, I just imagined I'm a noob. So I connected the PIMAX Crystal, I opened the software, and I didn't change anything. I just played games and it worked. Yeah. So now I would say it could be even interesting for beginners, because you don't need to set up. You can set up a lot of stuff, but you can just leave it in the standard settings, and it worked for me for all games that I tried. Yeah. Of course, when you use the Microsoft Flight Simulator and you have to a not so strong PC, you can switch some stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of options. Even you can have your own profile for every game and so on. But the software and setup is much better and much more stable than ever before, and that's good. Let's talk about the display of the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT. So there is a QLED display with a resolution of 2880 by 2880 per eye. This results in 35 pixels per degree, and you can set up to 120 Hertz in different steps. And yeah, I tried the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT with a lot of games, of course Half-Life Alyx, and I tried Flight Simulator, Racing Simulator, I even tried Beat Saber and Pavlov and shooters and all the stuff. And I can tell you, I was really impressed. This is one of the best displays in any VR headset. It's ultra sharp. It's very impressive. Well, my favorite is when you play Half-Life Alyx and you hold the gravity gloves in front of the headset. It looks so clear. Wow. Yeah. And I also try to see the different colors and all that stuff. The colors are also very clear, very intensive, I would say, and really good. You know, I tried the Somnium VR1 like 2 weeks before. I must say the Somnium VR1 has a little bit better colors, yeah, but it's also more expensive, yeah. That's the only thing. But the colors of the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT are really good. Then I'm also a big fan of horror games and so on. I need good black levels, and the black levels of the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT are pretty good because I have the version here with local dimming included. It's a little bit more expensive. We will talk about the prices later, but it's good. So in the software you can switch it off, and then 3 different steps up to extreme. Local dimming extreme mode. And then when I tried for example also Kajak VR, where you have the Kajak and so on. I tried it at the night levels, and in the black areas, the displays will be dimmed. Yeah? Different areas of the display will be dimmed, and that's really awesome. So of course it's still no OLED, but you have the advantage of the LCD, of the QLED, and also a little bit advantage of the OLED functions, I would say, because you have the local dimming. It's really awesome. Then I try to move my head very fast to see if there's some blur effects, motion blur or so. For me it's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's much better, for example, than the PlayStation VR 2 with all the Mura and stuff. You don't have that here, of course. It's a stable and clear picture, and I'm very, very impressed by the display of the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT. Thumbs up. Let's talk about lenses and field of view. So we have 35 pixel per degree glass aspheric lenses, and they are really, really good. They have no distortion at all, really good. They are very clear, yeah, and the edge-to-edge clarity is really good. So I see everything clear in my whole vision, yeah, really good, better than most other headsets. The sweet spot is also very good for me, no problems, but be careful, it's a little bit individual, yeah, it depends on the head shape. For me it's really good. We also do not have any glare or God ray effects. That means when there is like white text on black background, everything is clear, really nice. Also, I didn't notice any chromatic aberration on the edges or so. That's also not a huge problem with the lenses. They are really good. Yeah, nothing to complain, but of course they are pretty big, and that causes that the whole headset is bigger than other headsets. Everything has advantage and disadvantage, guys. Let's talk about field of view. And as always, to avoid any trouble, these are my personal individual values. You will have totally different values because you have other head shape. I have a very bad face for VR because my eyes are pretty far inside my head. That's not so good. So I have lower field of view than most other people. But it's very interesting to see my values compared with my other values. So with the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT, I have a vertical field of view of 102 degrees and horizontal field of view of 104 degrees. And that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that. That's really good. It's bigger than most other headsets, I would say. Yeah, at least a little bit better. So now perhaps you're wondering, why do I have other values than with the old PIMAX Crystal? It's not very huge difference, but it could be because you cannot change the lenses. The mechanics are a little bit different for the lenses because you cannot change them. I don't know, could be something like that, but it's pretty close to the old Crystal. So I also tried it without the facial interface. I removed it and I have exactly the same values then. Yeah. So I cannot mod it with another facial interface. It's the same values. But all in all, the lenses and the field of view really, really good. Let's talk about the controllers. So these are the included controllers, the PIMAX Crystal controllers. And yeah, for me, they are enough for 95% of cases that I play. Of course, when you hold them behind your back, then the tracking is gone, of course. But normally you don't use it. When you just do like this bow and arrow games, that's fine. Also the buttons, they feel pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. Also here the buttons and also the click point of the thumbsticks are fine. We have two different buttons here on each controller. And when we check out the difference here, look at these. These are the Quest 2 controllers and they are a one-on-one copy. Yeah, they look exactly the same. So this is fine. They just copied them, and that's good. I mean, why not? They are good in my hands. They feel good for me. It's absolutely fine. The tracking is also good. I cannot say how long the battery life is because I played hours and hours and hours and they are still full. So I cannot tell you it's like 24 hours, I don't know. But I can tell you it's definitely enough. Yeah, we have USB-C here. You cannot change the batteries. They are inside and you can charge them. Just after my PlayStations, I just connect them to USB-C and then I just leave them there. I never had problems with that, so that's fine. And then when you go back, you have full batteries, so no problem. I love the controllers. They are absolutely fine. I also have this stuff here. But there's also another way, another method. You can also use those controllers. These are the index controllers. Of course, they are more expensive. They are still the best controllers with touch and hand finger tracking and so on. They are really good, but they are expensive and you will need this stuff here. This is the Lighthouse faceplate of the PIMAX Crystal Light that you can buy separately. And then you also need 2 of those base stations that you mount on the wall. Yeah? You need them. This stuff is really expensive. So if you really want the best tracking, they can also be tracked behind the back and so on. Then go for them. But I would say normally for most users, you can use those controls. Also, if you only want the PIMAX Crystal Light for simulations, you don't need any controllers. But I would still recommend those because then you can use the menu better and so on. Yeah, so for me the controllers are absolutely fine with the PIMAX Crystal Light. So game compatibility. What can you play with the PIMAX Crystal Light? Yeah, it's a PC VR headset, so you can play all PC VR games with that. Steam VR has thousands of VR games. I didn't try them all, of course, but I tried random games and they all worked with the PIMAX Crystal Light without changing some setup in the software or so. It just worked, and that's really good. So, of course, I mean, when you play Half-Life Alyx, you don't need a strong PC. But if you want to use like Microsoft Flight Simulator in high resolution, you need a very strong PC, like with an RTX 4090. But the people that want to play it, they know it. Just don't use a laptop or an office PC to play a flight simulator. It doesn't work. You need a strong PC for those games. But for all smaller games, you can even have a normal gaming PC for the PIMAX Crystal Light. And you can play all the PC VR games. Also, I think, you can also play Revive games with the Oculus PC games. That also works. So, really nice. Accessories. So, how can you mod it and what accessories can you buy for that? So, when you just buy the PIMAX Crystal Light like this with the standard controllers, you cannot attach anything. Yeah, that's nothing. There's nothing. But there's one thing that you can buy that I already told you at the controller section. This one. This is the Lighthouse plate. And with this Lighthouse plate, the PIMAX Crystal will get Lighthouse tracking support. And then you can have a lot of accessories. For example, those. These are Vive trackers, Tundra trackers. You can mount them on your legs, on your arms, and then you have full body tracking, for example in VR chat, yeah, full tracked avatar. That's really nice. And then you can also use the, for example, the index controllers, but for everything Lighthouse based, you need the base stations, of course. That's really good. And then, you can use a lot of accessories for the PIMAX Crystal Light, but of course, it's pricey. The stuff is pricey. What is not possible is that you can use it wireless. It's wired and there is no battery, so there will not be a wireless option. With the old PIMAX Crystal, you have the batteries included. There will be a WiGig module, but not for the PIMAX Crystal Light. So, but still a lot of accessories through the Lighthouse system. Hey guys, let's do a short tracking test here. You can also hear the microphone of the PIMAX Crystal Light now. So let's first try the tracking of the headset itself. As you can see, that is butter smooth. There is no problem. Even Now, when I look towards my green wall, the wall is completely green, the green box room, it is absolutely no problem. The tracking never is gone with the headset. That's really good. For example, with the PlayStation VR 2, I have problems with the green box room, but here it's good. Yeah, and I have the controllers, the standard controllers of the PIMAX Crystal here. And as you can see, that is in the front of me. It's very smooth, very direct, no lag at all. Yeah, really good. Even in front of my chest here, tracking is still perfect. Yeah, I even touch my clothes now, even my belt here, and it still works. It still works. When I hold it on the side here, parallel to my body, it still works. But of course, when I hold it behind my back, then it's out of the camera range, and then it doesn't work anymore, you see? And now let's check out how long it needs to recover when I hold it in front. Look at this. This is less than half a second, I would say. Yeah, it's very fast recovering. Yeah, in front of my face, like 10 centimeters. That looks also good. But when I hold it directly in front of the lenses, you can see then it's gone. Yeah, so directly in front of the headset, it doesn't work, but like 10 or even 5 centimeters, then it works. Over my head also doesn't work, but that's normal. It's out of the range, but like here is no problem. Yeah. When I hold it in front of each other, that looks also good. No problems here. Other side. Yeah. Really good. Also for shooters. No, I don't see any problems here. Yeah, that's very nice. So, yeah, I would say the tracking of the standard controllers is fine. It's good for, I would say, 95% of cases. So, of course, the index controller can track also behind the back, but those are really good. No problems when you ask me. Heat development. So many headsets get pretty warm and it's uncomfortable also. The PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT gets a little bit warm here when you touch them after like 2 hours or so, but it's not uncomfortable. Yeah, there's the advantage that it's so huge, so the heat can spread over the headset. That's really good. And I also didn't hear any coolers or so, disturbing cooler sounds or so. So it's very nice. Let's talk about removable parts. So of course you can remove the face interface here, and then you can clean it pretty good. Yeah, it's sometimes a little bit tricky to get it back again because you have all the hooks here and all the stuff. Yeah, like here. Yeah. Okay, here's back, and then you can of course remove the headphones. So these are the DMAS, the deluxe audio, but when you buy it, the standard one are the SMAS, and you can of course remove them. Yeah, and you can remove the face front plate. You can see it here. Yeah, that's you can also remove if you want the lighthouse face plate. So you can remove pretty much, but I think you cannot remove the head strap itself. Yeah, you can remove it here. Yeah, there's a screw, and yeah, you can remove here the parts of that. That you can also remove all the facial interface and facial cushion you can remove, and that's a good thing. So guys, IPD adjustment. So with the old PIMAX Crystal, there was also IPD. There was a motor that regulates the IPD automatically. But with the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT, to reduce price and weight, they have now this wheel here. See that? On the upper left corner of the headset. You can manually adjust that. So you should see it here when I move it. Here. The lenses move also. So the lowest value that you can set is 85 millimeters. And the highest value that you can set is 72 millimeters. So the range is pretty good, I would say. So now I switched it to the lowest value possible. So the lenses are very close together, 58 millimeters. When I put it on my head now, I don't feel the lenses on my nose, which is really good. Yeah. So sometimes with some headsets, when you switch to the lowest value, then you feel the lenses on the nose, but here not, and that's really good. So manually IPD adjustment with range from 58 to 72. So for people wearing glasses, here's my test. I use the very big glasses here, and as you can see here, I put it here on and back, then tighten it, and it's not really a problem. So the lenses do not touch the glasses, and there's a lot of space for huge glasses. So that's also absolutely no problem. It's not really uncomfortable, so you can use your glasses without any problems here. Yeah, a lot of space and pretty nice. So there will perhaps also be the prescription lenses. As soon as I have the confirmation that the old one from the PIMAX Crystal work on the PIMAX Crystal Light, I will put them in the description below. Then you can use the prescription lenses. But for people wearing glasses, glasses is no problem. Let's talk about connectors or whatever you can connect to the headset. So I disassembled it a little bit. So there's the face cushion removed, and as you can see, there is nothing here. Yeah, normally sometimes we have an USB-C port. There's even the cover for the USB-C port. It's there, but there is not one. Then here also is nothing. There's no USB-C or anything. Only here for the DisplayPort cable, the connector. So otherwise there's nothing else. And even on the front, I removed the cover. Yeah, look at this here. Perhaps pretty interesting for you to see. Yeah, there is nothing, only the connector for the Lighthouse faceplate, but nothing else. No additional connector. The only thing that we can connect is the 3.5mm audio for your own headset. But there is no other connector. So they reduced even the connectors to reduce the price. Let's talk about sound and microphone. So, I got the package here with the DMAS, the Deluxe Audio Strap. I think there is additional $100 if you want them, because the standard SMAS audio strap is not so good, to be honest. It's pretty low sound and so on, but this one are pretty good, the DMAS, yeah. They are not as good as the Valve Index, I would say, but still very nice sound. For me, it's absolutely fine, yeah. And I also tested the microphone. So let's hear a small test. This is a microphone test with the PIMAX Crystal Light. Let's do some popping sounds. Pop, 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 pop. And let's scream a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the results. So yeah, I think we can say that the microphone is pretty good. Yeah, it's totally fine for multiplayer. I think it's even okay for recording videos. Yeah, it's much better than the really bad microphones of the Vive headsets. They suck all, to be honest. But this one is really good. It's fine. Yeah, I think. Still, the Valve Index microphone is better, but this one is okay. So I would say sound and microphone are in the upper, and not in the high end, but in the upper class. Okay, let's talk about the prices. So there are 3 different versions of the PIMAX Crystal Light. All of them have local dimming. There was a version without local dimming, but it's not available anymore. It was just a limited version. So we have the headset only version with local dimming is $799 US. Or 769 euro. This is for people that want to play mostly simulations, seated and so on. They don't need the controller, they have racing wheel or so, yeah, HOTAS. That's a good version. Then we have a version with the controllers that I showed you, the original PIMAX Crystal Light controllers. This version is $899 or 859 euro. And this version is good for people that also want to play other games where you move a lot, like Half-Life Alyx, Beat Saber and shooters and so on. With this version you can play all PC VR games. And then we have a version where there is no controllers but a Lighthouse faceplate. Yeah, and that means you can use lighthouse system with the base stations and so on. There are no controllers included because when you buy the lighthouse plate version, you do that likely because you want to use the index controllers. Yeah, and this version costs $899 or 859 euros as well. And then you can order the lighthouse faceplate alone for $199 or 187 euro, or the DMAS audio for $99 or 94 euro. Be aware that depends where you live, there will be custom fees added. For example, in Germany we have to pay like I think 19% or so. But still the prices are very, very good. So please make sure if you want to buy it, go via my link that you can find in the description and in the first pinned comment. Yeah. So guys, you heard a lot about this headset. Let's come to a conclusion. And as always, I will say pro and contra arguments. Let's start with pro. So definitely the display of the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT is awesome. It's one of the best displays that you can have right now. Very sharp, everything is clear, everything is the colors, local dimming if you include it there, it's great. It looks very good. Also the colors are great. The second thing on the pro side, definitely the lenses. The lenses are so good. One of the best lenses that you can have right now. Very clear, no distortion, no glare, yeah, edge to edge clarity nice, sweet spot nice. Great lenses, definitely. And also I put on the pro side the field of view. It's of course there are headsets that have bigger field of view like the PIMAX 8KX, but they have distortion. But these lenses with all the advantages have a really good field of view for me. Yeah, that's totally awesome. And also I put the price on the pro side. That's not so far away from the Meta Quest 3. And when you compare the Meta Quest 3 to this one, this is like day and night. This is for PC VR gamers that don't care about the cable. It's a blast. It's so much better. Yeah, I played weeks, you know that from my channel, with the Meta Quest 3, and then I tried this and I was like, wow, thank you. Yeah, it's really a huge difference. So the price is really good. I think there is no competition in this area here with the high-end PC VR headsets. If you check out the big screen beyond, it's far above 1,000 euro. The Somnium VR one is like 1,800 or something like that. The Apple Vision Pro is 3,500. And you don't even need the additional base stations and so on that you need for other headsets additionally, because they have inside-out tracking, and the controllers that I showed you in the tracking tests are really good. So price definitely on pro side. So let's come to a contra side. So to be honest, I had some problems with the PIMAX CRYSTAL LIGHT recognizing my scanned room play area. So I made the setup and I painted my area, and then I switched it off, and on the next day I came back and it moved a little bit in a different direction. And I said, what the heck is that? And then I made it again. This happened in like 30–40% of cases. That was not so good, but I think this is only a software problem. They will fix that in 1 or 2 versions of the Pi tool. That's not a big thing, I think. What I also disliked is the cable. Not the fact that it's not wireless, but the cable is very unflexible. It's very big, and if you want to bend it, it doesn't work. It's pretty unflexible. But this is only important for people that move around a lot, that are dancing or what. I don't do that. I just stand there most of the parts. I move a little bit perhaps, but mostly I turn with the snap turn function. So I don't really care about that, but I wanted to tell you the cable is not flexible. Also, it's 5 meters. I would love like 6 meters. Yeah. So, and also on the contra side, I put the connections, because there is no connector, only the audio jack, nothing else. Even the Quest 2 has USB-C or something. There is nothing. So for most people, this is also not important, but some want perhaps to connect something like a cooler or whatever. Yeah, this does not work. So all in all, when you ask me, this is a really good headset. Yeah, I think there is no competition in the PC VR sector for now. This is a really good headset and I love it. Yeah, also the comfort, everything is really good and they improved it a lot. And this is what I did you know when I tried the PIMAX Crystal, the old PIMAX Crystal first, and I said, what are they doing? Why are they including a standalone mode and a battery? Nobody on this planet needs that. Really nobody, not even one person. And now they listen to me and here we are. This is what should be the first PIMAX Crystal. Yeah, really nice and really cheap and nice. So guys, make sure to go via my link. That would be really awesome, even if there will be some goodies later. So make sure to go via my link. It's a win-win situation. And all the links that you need are in the description and in the first pinned comment. So make sure to subscribe to see even more honest reviews in the future. Make sure to give me a thumbs up and see you next time in virtual reality. See ya!
VoodooDE